Hey everyone, I'm Josh, and in this video, I want to discuss how I believe that people who give up on dating will eventually come to regret that. And I want to immediately throw a caveat in here that I don't believe everyone who gives up on dating will always regret it, but most people probably will. From what I know about psychology and human nature, I truly believe that it's not in our best interest to give up on dating and relationships because that's one of the best sources of fulfillment and meaning in our lives. Like, we're all social creatures. We know that. Try to find people who are happy on their own. There are very few people like that because that's just against our nature for the most part. And you may even find that most of the people who enjoy being on their own and being separate from society probably have their brains wired differently than most people. Like, they may not be neurotypical, and that's okay. It's just that that's probably not normal for us. We're very much social creatures. That's the way we've evolved until where we're at now. That's how humanity has been able to do all these great things, create all this technology and whatnot that should make our lives easier, even though, it's a separate conversation whether or not that's actually happening thanks to capitalism and oligarchs trying to control everything. But that is neither here nor there for this conversation. The whole point essentially is human beings are meant to be together. We're meant to be in group settings for the most part. It's kind of against our nature to go through life alone and be happy doing it. And you can't even really get through life alone. Like, think about what that actually means. Getting through life alone would mean without outside help for anything. Like, you'd have to be completely self-sufficient. Because even going to the grocery store, that's not you getting through life alone. That's you utilizing a system that works because of a bunch of people who all come together to make it work, all the processes behind it, all the farmers who grow the food, and then the people who pick it, and then the people who store it in boxes and then ship it out to other places, and then send it to grocery stores, and then the workers in the grocery stores who put it out for you to buy it. And yeah, so really think about what it means to get through life by yourself. It's something that like 99.99% of people are not going to be able to do. So we aren't wired that way. We're not wired to get through life alone. And also think about just how difficult it is to be on your own and to actually be happy, to enjoy your own company to the point where you don't need others around you to help enhance your happiness. This is something I've noticed that the vast majority of people aren't capable of creating because it takes a lot of inner work to hit that point. Because in order to enjoy your own company, you essentially have to like yourself, maybe even love yourself, which means accepting yourself fully. It means being comfortable in your own skin. The vast majority of people, at least from what I've seen, do not have that quality. So you see all these people who want to give up on dating, they probably haven't done the inner work necessary to actually make giving up on dating an enjoyable experience, to actually enjoy life on their own. So immediately that tells me a lot of people are going to regret this decision because they lack that inner work to actually enjoy life by themselves. So they're inevitably going to start comparing themselves to other relationships they see out there. They're inevitably going to feel lonely at times and wish that they had someone who could connect with them on that deeper level, not even just like connecting in terms of having deep conversations with your friends, but even having that intimate connection with someone where they show that they actually love you and the entirety of you, like your body as well, not just your mind. People are going to crave those things. They're going to crave connection. So how the hell is life going to be enjoyable if you give up on dating and refuse to put yourself out there anymore? It's something that I truly don't believe the vast majority of people can do and actually enjoy, have a good time. I truly believe most people who go down this route because they haven't done the inner work necessary to make it workable, they're going to end up regretting it at some point. They're going to start seeing all these other people out there with great relationships, especially as they get older in life, and they're going to see how people who have spouses that they've been with for decades or people who have children and whatnot, they're going to see how those spouses or their children will take care of them as they age. Like, they'll have that connection. They'll also have that support system. But if you're by yourself because you gave up on dating when you were 30 because it was too painful, who are you going to have? You may have really close friends, but they're probably going to have their own lives going on. They're not going to be able to be there for you all the time. And that's normal. That doesn't mean that they're bad friends. They just have their own things going on. They're not always going to be there for you. That's a fact of life, right? So these are some of the big things that I think about when it comes to this idea that I have that most people who give up on dating are probably going to regret it at some point. Now I want to talk about what makes people even want to go down this road, because I also think that the logic behind giving up on dating is just It's not sound. It's not built in reality. Instead, it's all based on emotions. It's people who get hurt and they get hurt enough, or maybe even just once, to the point where they're like, screw this. I never want to put myself out there again because I can't handle this pain. Well, first off, most people haven't had enough experience to truly say whether or not they're going to have no success when it comes to dating. Like a lot of people who give up on dating, I've noticed, they've dated like less than 10 people. How the heck can you use that sample size to say there's nobody else out there for me? It's 10 people, bro. There's like billions of people out there, 8 billion or so. You've dated 10 of them and you think that there's nobody for you? What? That's crazy. I mean, I don't know exactly how many dates I've gone on by now in my life, but I'm probably close to 50. And no, that doesn't mean I've slept around. It just means I've met a lot of women and decided, okay, maybe she's not quite the right one I'm looking for. And then I continue dating other women to see what they're like in the hopes of finally meeting someone that I can marry. But even with that sample size, like I'm nowhere near close to giving up on dating, even though none of them have worked out in terms of me meeting a woman that I'd want to marry. I'm still looking for her. But I know that that's 50 women out of 8 billion. Like, that's not nearly a large enough sample size for me to think, yeah, I'm never going to find the one for you. No, like there's plenty more women out there. I can't make that assumption yet. And also, there's so much autonomy we have here in terms of things we can do to increase the odds of finding someone who's actually a good fit for us. The biggest one, of course, being authentic, so that you're actually being your true self, so that you can surround yourself with people who like the real version of you. If you're not being authentic, almost everyone you encounter, how can you know whether or not they really like you? Because you're not being the real version of you, because you're too afraid of rejection. And that gets me started on another fun conversation. Why are you afraid of rejection? I get that it hurts. Believe me, I understand. I've been rejected quite a lot of times in my own life, but I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I still have met plenty of women who really liked me and didn't reject me. Things just didn't work out because of logistics and other stuff like that. So why are we going to let rejection make us feel like we're worthless and unlovable when there are plenty of people out there who actually will like the real version of us? In many cases, you just haven't met them yet. But that doesn't mean that you should stop putting yourself out there because you've only met rejection from all the people you've encountered. And also realize just because someone rejects you, that doesn't even mean that they're better than you. That doesn't mean that they're able to see the real you and think, oh, you're not the right fit for me. I've literally encountered women who rejected me because they actually thought that I was going to reject them at some point. Like they thought that there was this imbalance between us. They thought that maybe I was further along my personal development journey or something. So they thought at some point I was going to be like, yeah, you're not the right fit for me. I want this woman over here. So they rejected me early on. That's based on insecurities. That has nothing to do with you. That's all the insecurities of the other person. So do you see what I mean here? It's kind of dumb to make rejection this huge thing and to give up on dating over it when all it tells you really is that this one singular person doesn't like you for whatever reason. And that reason doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter in the long run because there'll be plenty of other people out there who will like you. I mean, you can get rejected for some of the dumbest things out there. Like, you could get rejected because someone doesn't like your hair. You could get rejected because maybe someone thinks that the perfume or cologne you wear is a weird smell or something. Like, there are just really dumb reasons you can get rejected. And it almost always has to do with the insecurities of the other person and has like little to nothing to do with you. So why let it bother you? Your whole goal is to find someone who actually likes you for who you are. So whenever you get rejected, that's immediately telling you this person's not the right fit for you. You're saving your time and energy so you can focus on finding someone who actually really will like you and vibe with you. So hopefully all these things compounded make you realize why I believe it's just not worth it to give up on dating, and why I truly do believe most people will regret it. Because the logic behind making that decision is flawed, and then the act of doing it makes it so that you're going to be lonely for most of your life, because just the vast majority of people haven't done the inner work necessary to be on their own and not be lonely. That's very difficult to do. Like, you probably need to meditate a lot and just find a bunch of things you enjoy doing by yourself that you can do by yourself. It's difficult to get to that place. And of course, you got to be comfortable in your own skin. That's ridiculously hard for most people to accomplish as well. So I just truly don't see most of these people who are giving up on dating as actually being happy a decade into the future. If anything, I see many of them are going to be very lonely, and they're going to regret it as they watch everyone around them start building these beautiful lives with other people involved in all these beautiful relationships, romantic relationships, and they're going to think, you know, I want that. Why did I make that decision that cut me off from it? Instead of just working on myself enough to be able to handle rejection and some of the pain that you encounter when dating. But that pain also opens the door to beautiful connection with others. It allows you to sift through all the weeds until you finally find this beautiful flower that you can water and watch blossom even further. And that flower in turn will water you, and then you'll blossom. And maybe that's a horrible analogy, but you get what I mean. You'll grow with the other person and you'll create this beautiful connection between the two of you. That's something you can't do on your own. Like, yeah, how are you going to do that? So, yeah, I truly do believe the vast majority of people can't give up on dating and be happy in the future. I just don't see it. I see most people, if anything, they're coping. They come up with coping mechanisms, but that doesn't mean that they're happy. It just means that they're living in denial. They're lying to themselves. So the whole point for me making this video is to urge you to not go in that direction. If you find yourself thinking that it's something attractive, don't give up on dating. Just instead work on yourself enough to be able to handle all the downsides of dating. We all know what they are. You can work on yourself enough where they don't hurt you as much, where you're able to maintain that perspective on looking for the person who will actually be the right fit for your life, and knowing that they're out there and doing what you can to try to increase the odds of meeting them. That's what you want to do. Don't give up on dating. Just work on yourself more. By the way, I offer coaching calls. It's $89 for 1 hour where I can help work with you on whatever problems you may be facing right now. I can even help you work on this problem that I discussed in this video here about wanting to give up on dating. I can help you work through that. So that way you hopefully won't make that decision of giving up on dating and regretting it later on. So feel free to reach out to me at my website link below. Send me an email and then we can discuss how I may best help you. But that's all I have for you guys. Truly hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. Arrivederci.